What's going on? This is Roberto, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about how to break down your calories on a per meal basis so that you're never ever again confused on how to do this ever again. So, call me pedantic, but what I did was calculated, my calories for each of the lifestyles that a macronutrient or a calorie counter would give. So in this case, I used the Ketogenic macro calculator to calculate the calories I would need. And not only that for a sedentary life, but I did sedentary life to maintain my weight, to lose a pound, to lose 2 pounds, gain a pound and 2 pounds. I did that up and down the board for sedentary all the way to extra very hard exercise, sports, or physical job. Wow, that's a breath. So, sure, this might have taken all of but 15 minutes of focus, but guess what I have here? I have broken down for me personally the minimum all the way to the maximum amount of calories that I would preferentially need in order to I guess this would be the minimum. Boom. The minimum, which is 1,005, all the way to the maximum of 4,174 calories a day to achieve the types of goals that I'm looking for and within the context of what I'm looking to do, right? Because it's not just the calories, it's the calories plus what you're doing. So again, it's not difficult to get this, but once you have it down, boy, is it helpful, right? So let's just take, for instance, I'm going to be conservative and again, use the sedentary keto lifestyle. And I'm going to say my calories are based on a 2,005 calorie a day to maintain. Now, this was real. I used this to lose 15 pounds in a month, okay? I used the sedentary keto lifestyle that calculated 2,005 calories a day to lose 15 pounds. And here's how I did it. By the way, everything that I'm going to show you here is done for you on the MyFitnessPal app. However, the way that I'm going to show it to you gives you a little bit of an understanding of how it's done. And it's so neat and it works. You just got to follow it. And with something like this, with the breadth of variety here, if things are not working for you, you can always adjust. And you're not adjusting by hope and faith. You're adjusting through algorithms that can calculate what is needed for your type of lifestyle. Okay? It might not be perfect. Nothing ever really is. But you can always use the context that you're in to adjust accordingly. So, I have the calorie breakdown here, just the calories that I'm going to be using. And so what I did was say, okay, let's say I'm going to eat 3 meals a day. What might that calorie breakdown look like in 3 meals a day? I'm sure it's hard for people to understand, like, what does 2,005 calories a day look like? I understand I could eat 2,005 calories right here, right now. That's easy. But if I'm eating 3 meals a day, I don't know what that looks like. Sure, I can divide 2,005 by 3, but then I have this, 75, 20% 5 breakdown, and it's confusing. What do I do? Okay, well, that's what I did right for you. I'm assuming or stipulating in this case a 2,005 daily calorie per day to maintain my weight. And I'm also stipulating that I'm eating 3 meals a day. And then, so what I want to do is if I'm eating 3 meals a day, I'm going to divide that 2,005 calories by 3 to come to 668 calories per meal, right? Whoops. Let me undo that. Okay. So once I have that broken down, now I know that I need to have these calories broken down even further in percentages of fat, protein, and carbohydrates. So if I know that 668 calories are supposed to be eaten per meal, that's not enough. I need 75% of those 668 calories to be coming from fat, right? So all I do is I multiply 668 by 75% and I get 501 calories. So I know that per meal, I'm going to be having 501 calories coming from fat. And I do the same for protein and carbs. I multiplied 668 calories by 20%, and I got 133 calories. And then for carbs, since we're doing it at 5%, I multiplied 668, which is the total amount of calories, remember, per meal by 5%, because we only want 5% of these calories coming from carbs. So 5% of 668 is 33. 20% of 668 is 133. 75% of 668 is 501. So now that we have the calories, are we good? Are we out of the water? Well, not quite, right? Because once we have the calories, we need to know how many grams those calories actually equal to. Because when you're looking at the nutritional labels, they give you calories. Let's say it's coconut oil. They'll give you the calorie breakdown of that coconut oil, like 100 calories per tablespoon. But you don't know how many grams of that, is fat. So you'll look at the nutritional label and it'll give you the amount of grams. Now, grams and calories are not apples to apples, okay? You got to understand, for every gram of fat, it's going to be 9 calories. So, and every gram of protein, it's going to be 4 calories. And every gram of carbs is 4 calories. So, how do we break down the grams per meal? We are going to do 501 calories of fat divided by 9 grams per calorie. And that's going to equal 55 grams of fat per meal. And we do that for protein and carbs, only this time we divide it by 4 because there's only 4 grams per calorie for carbs and protein. And now check this out. We have taken an entire daily calorie limit with a stipulated amount of daily eating, as well as our percentages, and we have broken down very specifically, let's just leave it at that, very specifically, the amount in grams of food per meal. How easy is it now to say, okay, I need 55 grams of fat per meal. I need 33.25 or 33 and a quarter or 33, however you want to do it, grams of protein per meal, 8.25 grams of carbs per meal. And if you're doing this 3 times a day, you're going to be hitting your 2005 daily calories to maintain, while staying in ketosis, theoretically, right? Now, how easy is that? That is how you win before and then attack. Win first, then attack. Because when you're looking at the back of food labels, guys, it's difficult to say, okay, this has 100 calories, but they say there's 12 servings per container, and that 112 calories is, you're lost in the dark. If you have a jar of peanut butter and you go, okay, it looks like each serving has 110 calories, 6 grams of protein, 8 grams of fat, whatever it might be, and then it tells you it's in a tablespoon, you're still lost, because a lot of the times people aren't using measuring cups, right? They're using spoons and things like that. And it's hard. It's hard for you to understand. And it's partly to blame on those nutrition labels to make it, that they make it almost cryptic for you to understand. However, when you do it this way, it makes it so much easier for you to understand. 55 grams of fat. Now I know. I can look at a nutrition label. I can look at the grams of fat in, let's say, eggs. And I could be wrong. I'm not even going to guess. But let's say, for the sake of argument, that whatever I'm eating has, per serving, 8 grams of fat. And it's just fat, right? Well, I know that, roughly speaking, I'm going to have around 5 to 6, 7 servings of that to hit the daily or the meal required grams of fat for that meal. It just makes it so easy. And that is on the label of your nutrition label. Now, if this is confusing for you, trust me, it's a lot easier than it seems. I'm probably not even doing it justice, because I know it more than I can explain it, and sometimes I do better than other times. However, the MyFitnessPal app takes care of this, guys. You don't have to worry about this. And that's what we're going to be talking about in the next video, how to actually now add food to the MyFitnessPal app and how it makes your life so much easier. Talk soon.